In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with y'all exactly how I turned $6,000 into 69,300 in just 3 days. I'm going to be sharing with y'all the details, like the entries, the exits, most importantly, the whole plan that made me want to take this trade to begin with. And lastly, I'm going to share with y'all exactly how everybody else did in the Discord. So let's dive let's dive right into it. All right, off the bat, the trade that I took, just to be straightforward and to make this video to be more time efficient, the trade that I took was on Amazon. And the reason why I took a trade on it was because of a beautiful ascending triangle on the chart. My absolute favorite structure to trade. All right, it stretched from way up here to way down there. Now let's just go straight into the Robinhood account. All right, so this is Amazon right here. And then this is how it's been trading today. Today's Monday. This is how it's been trading and moving, all right, after the gap up. Let's dive all the way down to the history of it. And this right here is the history. So we're gonna do show more because I started buying on the 8th. Or actually, no, I've been buying way before that, but you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. So this is the most recent transactions, and as you can see, 110 contracts that I sold today, this morning. This was the C205 calls that expire on the 16th, and I started buying these specific contracts right here. Y'all can see that. Yeah, I started buying these specific contracts right here. First, I bought 10 of them right here at 11 a.m. on the 8th. This was, I believe this was Thursday. And then I added another 30 right here at the close. No, at noon again, at around the same time, like 3 minutes later. Another 30 contracts. And then next, I bought 40 more contracts. I believe this was at the close. Just to average down, because they went from $67 all the way down to 50. And then the next day again, I waited patiently until the close to buy 30 more contracts to make it a total of 110 contracts for a total price of $6,000. This to average down before the breakout occurred. All right. My average price on all of these contracts was around, like, I think at the time on Friday was around 55 cents. Now let's go into ThinkorSwim. That way y'all can see. I'm gonna circle. I'll put a box right next to these transactions. So first and foremost, we got this is the 8th. So we got the first buy of the C205 right around noon right here. The first and the second buy, those 40 contracts. And then the next buy was right at the close into the dip right here. That's where I added 2,000. And then the next entry was after this whole mess occurred right here, where we had the pop at 184, we had the drop, and then we had the bullish pennant that broke out right at the points where I was really interested in going long. For those of y'all who have been in the Discord and you know my style, y'all know I like to wait until the very, very last day of the breakouts to start buying, right? But because of this trade, I saw this move happening like a week in advance. Like I knew this entire move was going to happen since the 4th of May. Let's go into Robinhood real quick. All right, and let's go up to, again, this is the 110 contracts, and then I sold them literally right at the open, like right out the gates. After the first minute, I sold all of them for 69,000. Now for the plan. Okay, like I said before, I was very well aware that this massive move was going to go all the way up to 215 since the 4th of May. Now I put out this plan in the Discord about 3 days before the breakouts because I thought that it was perfect. It was a good time right before the day of FOMC. I decided to share a very delusional plan at first because I thought the initial move from 193 to 210 was going to happen between Wednesday and Friday. Unfortunately for me, I didn't see the rate cut that I thought would occur, despite the fact that everybody was saying that there wasn't going to be, well, I would say everybody was expecting that there wasn't going to be a rate cut. I saw the inflation numbers, it was at 2.4%. I thought it was really, really low. And then the last time the inflation report was at, the CPI was at 2.5%. They started cutting interest rate. They made a big cut by like 0.5%. So I thought it was right to share this plan early in anticipation of the spike at 1 p.m. on the 7th. All right, so let me just scroll down. You can pause the video and read everything in great detail. That way you can see my thought process behind this trade. So again, the contracts on Amazon demolished after earnings. That's why I really, really liked it, and that's why I thought it was going to pay the most out of all of the tech stocks. All right, and then again, I put out the breakout point right here of 193. As soon as it gets there, as soon as that level gets taken out, the price target will be 210, maybe even 215. All right, and then this is the reason why I decided to share it. I also share with everybody like examples of like the contracts, far out of the money contracts that they could take and the amount of ROI that they would expect. Y'all see right here, this is literally a 240x gain. That would have happened if I was right about the interest rate being cut, right? That would have caused Amazon to spike from Wednesday to Friday. And I told y'all before in these videos, the most important thing, at least in order to make the most money, you have to be right about not only the price target, but you also have to be right about when it's going to get there. Because we trade options. And in options, you have to be right on both. All right. So that's why I decided to give just a clear representation of what to expect. And this is me trying to reassure everybody that this trade is really gonna happen. It's only a matter of when. All right. Now, fast forward to the 7th. This is FOMC day. I did take some trades before, like from the 6th to the 7th, because I knew it was going to bounce from support to resistance. So I was playing in and out, but that's not the whole point of this video. All right. The whole point of this video, again, you can pause and you can read along. Let's see here. This is the 7th. This is the 7th again. And this is FOMC day. On that day, I was looking at the C200 that expired on Friday. And then let's see what happened at 1 p.m. Yeah, so this is 4 minutes before 1 p.m. before the FOMC. And then it turns out that the Fed decided not to cut rates. And then as soon as we got that news, I immediately knew that we weren't going to go up to 210 that specific week. So the new contracts to focus on was the 516, right? Because it was either going to drag its feet and get there by the 16 exactly, or it was going to do what it did, which was to spike over the weekend. And the only two reasons that I had was either from the inflation or from the upcoming deal that was going to happen between the US and China with the tariffs. Now let's continue to go lower and lower. Like I said, y'all can pause. This is the analysis as we're getting closer to that breakout point with the price target up here and up here. And then the last post. Oh, yeah, this is me sharing the best practice of how this trade should be handled. Again, I'm not only here to trade, but also educating people on what you're supposed to do once you get into these specific trades, what time frame to look for, and all of that. Now let's go down some more. This is the 9th, the breakout followed by the drop, and then again I had to hold through all of these because I was looking at the bigger time frame, the 4-hour time frame. And as long as the daily was bullish and the 4-hour time frame was bullish, I was more than happy to hold And especially after an announcement was going to be made over the weekend regarding the trade deal, right? As long as everything held, I was more than happy to hold. And the last confirmation that I got, this is 10 minutes before the market closed. The fact that it closed right over the horizontal line of 193, that was the confirmation I need. And for those of you who are in the Discord, this is the point where I would usually start buying. All right, but this was a different case. I wanted to be a lot earlier and give everybody a chance to pick the contracts that they like, and pick the contracts that could pay them the most, and just to make sure that nobody in Discord, nobody in the community gets left behind. So yeah, this is what happened today. Today we had massive spike all the way up to 110.6, and then as soon as I saw that doji, that 1 minute doji, that little spike, I immediately sold all of my calls all at once. All right, right here, y'all can see that. Now here is how everybody else did in the Discord. Let's go from here. Let's continue to scroll up again. I'll get there right in a moment. So it started off with this person making 1,500% on their contracts with the C200, and then we scroll down. Oh, I did take a trade on Tesla. I told y'all that Tesla was one of the stocks that I had calls on going into the weekend, and this is how pretty much I did on that one. Let's scroll down some more. Somebody ended up tripling their money on Amazon, and then somebody took the top two stocks that I had along with SPX, right? So they made 1,400%. They turned like 200 into 2,000 from Amazon, and then they made 150% on Tesla. All right, and then this is me. I took a screenshot of what it was at the time. I was trying to really sell it at around 690, but I had some difficulty getting filled, and I ended up getting out 630 per contract. But yeah, that's how I did. And then let's see. Somebody else made more money on, yeah, they made 1,500% on Amazon also, with 5 shares and 3 shares, 3 contracts. I mean, and then this person ended up making 14 grand on Amazon calls, and the list goes on and on. This person made it on 5,000, and this person made 40,000 in total. 17,000 from their Robinhood account, and then let's see, another 9,000 on this account, and then another 7,000 again. Right, so overall everybody did pretty solid. This person made 17,000 on Amazon calls, and then this person doubled their money again. All right, and then this one turned roughly 230 into 2,000. And last but not least, this one I think is really impressive. Like, they started out, this is a new member, and they started out their account last week with like $700, and then they turned that $700 into $10,000 in just 3 days. All right, so that's pretty much how I did. That's pretty much how everybody did, and that is the end of the video. Yeah, so comments, questions, concerns, definitely drop them in the comment section of the video. And what else can I say? What really went well? I would say the planning. The planning was the planning was good. The fact that I was able to see the move like a week ahead was really helpful. Like, it helped me just calm down and just focus on the bigger picture. And luckily for us, this thing spiked up over the weekend, so we didn't have to like hold and hold and hold for multiple days before it gets to the top. That would have been the hard way to the top instead of the easy way that we pretty much got. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. Again, do not forget to annihilate the like button as always. I make these videos from Sunday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. Definitely click on that subscribe button. Also, if you'd like to be part of a private Discord community where you can get all of this information in real time as I see them, along with the details of the contracts that I buy, and most importantly, why I take the trades that I take to begin with. That way, you get to learn along the way. You can find that as the first link in the description of the video below. Don't forget to follow me on social media at Paul and Goodman at Patternology Lab on Instagram and on X. And lastly, to get some free stocks with Webull, you can use the third link in the description of the video below. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? This is Patternology Lab, where we treat patterns and patterns only. And I will see all of you in the next video.